Great morning, everybody. Welcome to our Breakfast Club call. Today is Thursday, August 29th, and I am so excited to be here with you guys today. So we are going to get ready to get started. If I'm having technical difficulties, do not charge my head to my heart because I am live from Aruba with you guys today. So I am really excited I wanted to talk to you. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. My name is Pamela Pacheco. I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host. I remember when I first started entrepreneurship over a decade ago, I was looking forward to these type of morning mentorship calls, not only for the information I was going to receive, for the inspiration I was going to receive. See, I am very aware that our subconscious mind is open most in the morning and at night. So how you start your day sets the tone for your day. Garbage in is garbage out, and greatness in is greatness out. So kudos to each and every single one of you guys that decided to start your morning with some positivity this morning, with some absolute fire. So we are grateful to have each and every single one of you guys join us here. So let's get right into it. And I actually was listening to a podcast a few months ago, and I was so just very much inspired by the podcast. And it was talking about grind rising. Hello, welcome. We got Bahamas in the building, Atlanta in the building, Tampa in the building, Philly in the building, Jersey in the building, New York City in the building, Jamaica, Wagwan, Bahamas. I love you guys. Welcome, everybody. So I was very inspired because when he talked about potential, unexpressed turning into pain, right? And if you've never been familiar with Robin Sharma, he is very well known in leadership and an author. A lot of people love him, right? He often speaks about the way of potential, its relationship to personal fulfillment. And what honestly triggered this was last night I was having a conversation with my 11-year-old goddaughter. Shout out to Queen Annabelle London, who is a gymnast, and she's probably won over 100 medals in the last 4 to 5 years, right? And she's 11. So you do the math. And what triggered this conversation, or prompted this conversation, because I was definitely triggered, was because somebody posed their limiting beliefs on her. And she said something along the lines to me as, well, I don't think I want to do gymnastics because I've seen, somebody told me that a lot of people that have big dreams and they never reach them anyway. And most people never reach their dreams. So y'all know, right? God mom went into full coach mode, and it was like a keynote, right? It was a keynote. Tailored to an 11-year-old, absolutely, because she's still a child regardless. But see, one of the reasons that potential unexpressed leads to pain, it's because, if you're taking notes, because note takers are history makers, number one, it's the inner frustration, right? And a lot of times you get so frustrated and this pain that you now start imposing your limiting beliefs on other people. And that's not fair. And it's only because you were frustrated, right? Because of that unexpressed potential. And this is why we see so many adults that are children, because there's a lot of adults that just have not healed or are not doing the work necessary to really grow. And if you're not growing in life, we're just dying. So it's so important to be able to do that. So let's talk about this potential unexpressed turning into pain, right? Because what he is talking about when he's referring to this is the psychological and emotional consequences of not living up to our capabilities. Like, type of a P in the chat if you're the person that's like, I know I got a lot of potential. I got potential. Yes, right? Yes. I'm talking to my big dreamers. Put a D in the chat if you're the person that's like, look, I got big dreams. It don't matter how long it's going to take me to do it. I'm going to persist. I'm going to persevere. Yes. Absolutely. And the reality is that it causes inner frustration when we have potential that is unexpressed, because when we have talents, skills, and dreams that we don't pursue or express, it can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction. And you might feel like you're wasting your life or missing out on something important because of it. Like, if you wake up and you're not inspired, you're not motivated, you're tired, no matter how much you sleep, you're exhausted, you just have zero drive, your dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, they're just off, right? Your happy chemicals are just majorly just there. We got to check something. And the reality is that that inner frustration, if we don't check ourselves and we don't are not able to say, hey, you know what, this is not serving me, let me work on it. What happens is now we start bleeding on other people that didn't cut us. And it's so sad because when you think about an 11-year-old little girl that has been surrounded by people that have just been pouring into her greatness, that have been, encouraging her. And I'm talking about my best friend, like her mom is, I'm like, you talking about six figures darn near, right? On gymnasts. And if you got any parents in here where your kids play AAU or they play any type of sport, you're always doing your best to encourage them. And, parents, godparents, it does take a village. And you thinking about, it's like, man, somebody is trying to kill that dream because they were frustrated because they had some potential that they did not meet. And the reality is that when you have potential that is unexpressed, it leads to the pain, because how many people know in life, you don't regret what you do, you regret what you don't do, right? So over time, the failure to act on our potential, it leads to regret. And you look back on your life and you're realizing you didn't make the most of your abilities, and it can be a source of significant pain. And I'll tell you this, right? A lot of people are like, oh my goodness, Pam, that's crazy. You're in Aruba. You were just in Italy. And you're just in Jamaica. Like, I know. And all I got to tell you is to God be all the glory. But really and truly, you just see the glamour. You see the posts on Instagram, but you have no idea of the journey. You have no idea of the story. It's doing those things over and over and over again that you didn't want to do. And this is the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people, is that successful people are willing to do what others won't, to live the life that others don't. And I don't know what that's going to look like for you. But what I do know, that when I look back, and yesterday I was ATVing around the entire island, learning all about the history of Aruba, and it's so beautiful, right? And I was just so speechless and in awe. And it was just a moment I was reflecting on my day after I had this conversation with my goddaughter, and I was tearing up because I'm looking at a picture of my sister and I, like, on top of this mountain, and it's overlooking the ocean, and she absolutely loves Aruba, and I know why now. And I was so just in gratitude. I was so just in awe of God, but I was just so even proud of myself. See, I'm not the person, like, I always empower other people and encourage them, but very, very rare do we really take the time and reflect on our own accomplishments and reflect on, man, if I would have been still working at the bank, or I still would have been working for somebody, I don't know if I would have had the freedom to be able to do this. And these are moments that it's like, yeah, it looks pretty on the gram, right? Like, you guys saw, if you don't follow me on social media, make sure you're following Pam the Plug. But a lot of people still commenting and sending me messages like, oh my God, you're such a phenomenal sister. And honestly, I give all the glory to God, and I have to honor God, but I also have to honor our mother, because our mother was the epitome of love and light. She was the epitome of hard work. You talking about sacrificing your entire identity. See, she knew she had big dreams, and she was not gonna fulfill those dreams for her children as well in living in the Dominican Republic. She wanted to give access to us to opportunity. And it's like, I am in awe also, because it was like, how dare I squander opportunity? See, the best way that we honor God, that we honor our parents that have transitioned, that we honor our ancestors, is living our best and blessed life. It's maximizing on that potential, because God's gift to us is unlimited potential. But what we do, what we give back to humanity, that's our gift back to God. That's our gift back to the world, us sharing it, us contributing it. And if I was not the person that was relentless, that understands that heavy is the head that wears the crown, that understands that, listen, life to life, right? I would have been suffering regret, because you just never know what can happen in life. And I am so grateful that I am in a position to be able to say, hey, you know what? It's my sister's birthday, and I'm just gonna go book the flight, and I'll be there tomorrow. And we suddenly did things, and I I wish that upon everybody. I pray that you get to a point in your life that you have the freedom that you can just pick up and go, and you can not only be there for your loved ones, but that you have the freedom to live life on your terms. Because living life on your terms is living life unapologetically. It's realizing that if God gave you a dream, God gave you a gift, He is going to allow you to bring that to fruition. Because the reality is that regret over time, it adds up. It adds up, and it festers, and it contributes, I believe, to the cortisol levels of people getting sick, because the pain is just so overwhelming. Have you ever seen people, like, there's so many people that have transitioned to heaven, have a transition out of earth because of a broken heart. And that broken heart, a lot has to do with you not maximizing your gifts, with you not maximizing your potential. And the reality is that the reason that that unexpressed potential also leads to pain is because unexpressed potential often leads to stagnation. And not expressing our potential leads to a sense of stagnation, because people are generally seeking growth and progress. And when that doesn't happen, it creates a feeling of being stuck, of being unfulfilled. Has anybody ever felt stuck? Like, type a S in the chat if you're a person that's like, yeah, I definitely can relate, Pam. I've felt stuck before. I felt unfulfilled before. Like, I know exactly what that means, right? And it's okay. It's okay. But the reality is that we all have the power to do something different. We all have the power to move in the direction of our dreams, because every action, every decision that we make, it's either getting us closer to our dream life, or it's pulling us away. It's either allowing us to say, hey, you know what? I am getting closer to who I want to be. I am getting closer to who it is that I want to become. I am getting closer to the life that I want to live, or I am pulling myself further and further and further away. And that potential unexpressed leads to that unfulfilled purpose, because you're talking about the importance of finding and fulfilling your purpose. See, that unfulfillment, it, when you don't express your potential, when you don't express those gifts, it's when you don't express your light. You got to realize, each and every single one of us on this call, there's about 28 of us on this call right now, and people joining from Facebook. And it doesn't matter, because it's, everybody here is a light in this world. Everybody here has a purpose, whether you believe that or not. I'm here to tell you that today. Everybody here has a calling over their life. And I'm not saying that it has to be where you got to quit your job. No, but live your best life. If you having a career, see, my sisters, listen, she got a whole 9 to 5, right? The majority of her friends that are here, all of them got 9 to 5s, but they're able to live life on their terms. They're still able to live life on their terms. They're still able to have side hustles, to have this, to have that, to live their best life. Because when you talk about not expressing your potential, see, is a certain disconnect that happens. And when you're disconnected from your purpose, it can cause you existential pain. Existential pain that you can't, that it will be so overwhelming that it's not that you're depressed. It's not that you're not enough. It's just that you're not in alignment with your purpose. You're not in alignment with who you are called to be. And it is so important that we take a moment to ask ourselves, am I living my life? Am I expressing my potential? Because we don't want to live a life of pain. We want to live a life of prosperity. We want to live a life of joy, a life of peace, a life of happiness, right? So these are things that they're so important in every aspect of our life. So I know you guys are like, okay, well, Pam, how are we getting on the other side of it, right? How are we getting on the other side? And let me tell you another reason why this unexpressed potential leads to pain. Anybody ever beat themselves up because you're like, dang, I'm betraying myself? Ignoring your potential sometimes, if we're being honest, it can feel like a form of self-betrayal. Because when you know you're capable of more, but you don't act on it, you might feel like you're letting yourself down. And sometimes, if I'm being honest with you, I feel like that in life when I know that I'm not giving it my all. But there's some times that I'm like, man, I want to make sure that I am not beating myself up because I just want to do more. See, I want to continue to do more. I want to elevate. I want to help people. I want to help so many people. And people are like, man, listen, this is cool, but I want thousands of people to be able to be, I want millions of people to be able to be impacted, to be able to be living their best life in every aspect, right? So when you think of that concept and you're like, man, you got to push yourself to another level. You might feel like you're letting yourself down, and see, the best way is to get on the other side of it. Overcoming the pain is essential to start expressing our potential. So if you're taking notes, because note takers are history makers, right? Number one, what is that thing that you need to do so that we can get on the other side of this, right? Because it's like, okay, we're identifying the issues and we're identifying what it can lead to, but how can we get ahead of this? Glad you asked. Number one is self-awareness. So take some time to reflect. Take some time to just be still. Take some time to be in peace. And I will tell you that you're not going to take time to be still when you're running around your kids. You're not going to take time to be still when you got to go do a billion one things for your significant other or your loved ones or your professional duties or your business duties. When I talk about be still, I mean be still, right? Just you and God, you and whatever you believe in, whoever you believe in, whatever that is. I'm not here to impose my limiting beliefs, my faiths, my beliefs on you, impose my beliefs on you. However, that's just what I believe in. So I do believe in just being still, taking some time with your creator, taking some time to just identify what your potential actually is. And if you're the person that's like, well, Pam, I don't even know what's my potential. Start by asking what's your purpose? What gets you up in the morning? Even better, what gets you up in the middle of the night? What drives you? What are you passionate about? What is that one thing or multiple things that you can't stop thinking about, right? What is that thing that you're like, man, I know if I could do this, if my life would look like that, if this could be that, what does that look like for you? Take some time, because this is going to require a deep reflection on your passions, on your strengths, on what you genuinely want out of life. If God came down and he said to you or appeared in the middle of the night and an angel and however, and said, hey, if you can design your perfect life, what would that look like? Think about your dream life in every aspect. I mean, your faith. What does your spiritual life look like? What does your mindfulness life look like? What does your stillness life look like? What does that self-reflecting time look like? What does that look like for you? Ideally, right? No limiting beliefs, no limits, all gas, no brakes. Sky's not the limit, space is, right? What does that look like for you? Your dream life. Think about that. Think about it in your faith. Think about what does that look like in your fitness, right? What does that look like? What does that look like for you in your health, right? I love telling myself every day, I am healthy, I am happy, I am wealthy, I am living my best life. I'm one of God's most precious and beautiful creations. I am the head and not the tail, right? Identify certain things. Take some time for that because it's important. It's important for you to genuinely know what it is that you want out of life. Ask yourself these things. See, I know that I was called to impact and inspire people's lives through my story. If not, God would not have put us through the pain that he does. It's not for us. It's never for us. It's for somebody else, right? Because we're not meant to do life alone. This is why he created you and me. This is why he created Adam and Eve, because life commitment always lasts longer in community. In the context of community is where greatness develops, is where businesses are formed, is where the greatest ideas of all time. It's one of the reasons I absolutely love our Viago community. It's just filled of great people, right? But take some time to be aware. Take some time to just some self-awareness and reflect and identify what that looks like for you. What are those things that you just can't stop thinking about, you can't stop dreaming about, and design your dream life. in your faith, in your fitness, for your family, for your fortune, for your fun. I know one of the things in my vision board in my dream life is saying, hey, I get to pick up and live life on my terms whenever I want, not having to respond to an alarm clock or a boss. The only thing that's my boss is my agenda, my schedule. After God is my schedule, because I live by my schedule, right? What does that look like to you? And sometimes it's spontaneity. I'm a Libra, right? I love being spontaneous. So the birthdays, you know, special days is like, I probably am not going to stay still. And here's another way how we get on the other side of it for those that are taking notes. Number 2, the courage to act. The courage to act. See, often fear holds us back from expressing our potential. And fear means nothing more than false evidence appearing real. And it could tell you forget everything and run, or it could say face everything and rise. And it's a choice. But we have to choose to rise above the fear. We have to choose to rise above the circumstances. We have to choose to rise above those things that are holding us back, those own limiting beliefs that we've put on ourselves that are keeping us stagnant, that are keeping us from expressing our potential. But the reality is that we have to cultivate the courage to take small, consistent steps towards our goals, even if they feel uncomfortable. And trust me, I know it's uncomfortable sometimes. It is very uncomfortable, but it's the courage to act. It's interesting because, again, yes, last night having this conversation with my goddaughter, and I was like, you know what the difference is? I was like, between successful, there's so many differences between successful people and unsuccessful people. I said, but you know which one of the key ones is that we feel the fear and we do it anyway. And how you do anything is how you do everything. Because she's talking about like, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to start volleyball. I said, so what's going to tell you that you're not going to quit? See, here's what I've understood. And this is why the courage to act is so important. Because quitting is a habit. Winning is also a habit. See, life is going to be hard, but you got to choose your hard. Success is hard, but being broke is harder. And being broken is harder. Happiness, choosing joy, choosing love every single day at every single moment. Sometimes it feels tough when you're loving unlovable people, or when you have to be joyful in moments that really are heartbreaking. It's a choice though, but you got to pick your hard. Getting wealthy is hard. Maintaining and sustaining and growing your wealth, it's hard. But being financially in debt is harder. Letting money be your master and not your servant is very hard. You got to pick your hard. The courage to act matters, because every decision we make, it's getting us closer to who we want to be. It's getting us closer to our dream life, or it's pulling us away. But consider, what are these small steps? Take notes as you're taking inventory, as you're doing this self-awareness and reflection and saying, okay, well, what does that look like for me today? What does that look like for me this week, going into this weekend? How can I prepare more? Maybe Sundays are your days, right? Those are my days that typically from church, I get ready for the week, go over my calendar and stuff, right? And when I talk about, you know, my calendar is my governor, is like, I've been doing work remotely, believe it or not, but it's like, I just wanted to be present as much as possible. So I said, you know, I'm going to disconnect. And it's like, now I got to go back home. We got our creators conference in 2 weeks. We got RTE next week. So I got back-to-back events. But here's what I do know. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And every action that I take is getting me closer to my goals, or it's driving me further away. And while I'm here, I'm still reaching out to people, inviting them to RTE. I'm still reaching out to people to get them on the presentations. I'm still reaching out to people, connecting them. I'm still reaching out to sponsors. I'm still reaching out to clients. I'm still reaching out to people, because I understand every step, it gets me closer. And it's like, you got to have the courage to act. And how you do anything is truly how you do everything. I've seen so many people, they're like, oh, I'm going to quit at this. And then I'm going to go start that. And then there's what? A week later. Sometimes it takes them a year, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 3 months, they quit. They quit at everything because it's a habit. It's like, this is why we live in a society where it's so hard sometimes for people to find really great people to be in a relationship with, because we live in a microwave society. People want instant gratification. People want instant results. And at the first sign of any type of it's not even conflict, but at the first sign of any turmoil whatsoever, any adversity, it's like, it's fight or flight. But a lot of people just want to take flight, and that's okay. But you got to understand, it's like, choose your heart. You have to have courage to act, to get on the other side of a life of your potential not being expressed. Here's another way that we do that. Number 3. Yes, absolutely, Lisa. Perseverance. Persist and persevere, because victory belongs to those who are persevering. Number 3 is setting clear goals. Define specific, actionable goals that align with your potential. This gives you direction and a sense of purpose. And you're like, Pam, but, I'm not where I want to be at in my business. I'm not where I want to be at in my traditional business. I'm not where I want to be at in my career. Quite frankly, I'm not where I want to be at in family. I'm not where I want to be at in my network marketing business. I'm not where I want to be at in my leadership. I'm not where I want to be at as a parent. I'm not where I want to be at as a wife, as a husband. I'm just not where I want to be at in life. You have to set clear goals. See, we said the first step is reflecting, being aware, right? But the second one was the courage to act. But what are you going to act on if you don't have clear goals? And we love SMART goals because they're specific goals. They're measurable, right? They're actionable or attainable, achievable, right? They're relevant. They're time specific. So little things that you can implement. What are some micro goals? I see people, I coach people every day, and I see so many people that are like, well, I want to get there, and I want to be that, and I want to do this. And then I'm just like, why? That's not you. Take it a bit at a time. You can't eat the elephant all at once. You got to chop it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bit, little bit at a time. Because life, it's about the small things. See, the small things over time, you hear me say this, when you master the mundane, magic happens. Because it's in those moments where you master yourself. It's in those moments where you master your craft. It's in those moments where you master your emotions, where you don't let your emotions get the best of you, when you are able to differentiate, this is just business. This is just life. This is just happening for me, not to me. It's perspective. But when you set clear goals, set micro goals. What are the small things that you can do that in the next 2 to 3 weeks are going to give you something different? See, we're entering fourth quarter, and I love fourth quarter. I was born in fourth quarter, by the way. Your girl's birthday is October 20th. In case you want to know, I'm going to be accepting Zells and all that stuff. But just kidding. But anyway, I love fourth quarter. Here's why I love fourth quarter. Because championship games are won in the fourth quarter. Yes? Type of why my sports heads, my people that watch any type of sports, you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Champions are made in the fourth quarter. Championship games are won in the fourth quarter. Winners are breaded in the fourth quarter. Winners are remembered because of the fourth quarter. See, I understand that these are little things that are important, because as we head into fourth quarter, if you want fourth quarter, like type 4Q in the chat if you're the person that's like, you know what, my fourth quarter is going to make up for the first 3 quarters of the year. So I want to see who I'm talking to, because I'm talking to a specific audience right now. This is not for everybody on the call, right? It's not for everybody on the call, but this is for the people that are like, you know what, fourth quarter is mine. Fourth quarter is mine. I let the adversity get the best of me. I let those things that I couldn't control me. I let it control my dreams. I let it keep me stagnant. I let it keep me in pain for way too long. And it's on. Fourth quarter, it is on and popping. Fourth quarter is all about me. It's all about my dreams. It's all about my goals. It's all about me living my life to its fullest potential. Me allowing God to help me maximize all my gifts. I'm willing to take action. I am willing to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do what others won't, to live the life that others don't. I'm going to do the goals, and I am going to take action. And it's in those little micro goals, setting actionable steps in the next 2 to 3 weeks that can make the entire difference. You want to move the needle. Yes. Do you want to be to the next rank in your business? Yes. Do you want to be to the next level of your leadership? Yes. Do you want to be to the next level of wealth in your business, of wealth in your life, in your family, in your fitness? You got to take little steps. Maybe that little steps is just saying, hey, I'm going to make a list again. I'm going to start. I don't want to get overwhelmed and do 20 people a day. I'm going to reach out to 2. I'm going to reach out to 5. Whatever that number is good for you, that you're going to be able to commit and follow through. Whatever that you can do that you're going to be committed to, that is going to allow you to follow through. And it's not following through for anybody else, ladies and gentlemen. No. This is following through for you. This is what it's for you. This make fourth quarter about you. And it's not making it about you in the sense that you're not doing this to help other people. No, you're doing this if your success number, if your goal is so small that it doesn't involve other people, we got to start writing new goals. But when I mean make it about you, meaning do not let the things control you that you can't control. Do not focus on the things that you do not want to expand. Do not let the inaction consume you. Do not let the fear keep you stagnant. Do not let the failures consume you. Do not let the setbacks consume you. Do not let anything that does not serve you live rent free in here or here. That is what I mean by when I say make it about you. Okay. Type of me in the chat if you guys are getting some value from this. Awesome. Great. I love that. Surrounding yourself with support. Yo, oh my goodness. I'll talk all day about my tribe. Woo. Lord, engage with people who inspire and support you. Positive reinforcement from a community or a mentor, it can be crucial in pushing you to express your potential and pushing you to live your dream life. And when I talk about surround yourself with support, oh my goodness, I don't know. See, and again, we're human, right? So here's one of the reasons why surrounding yourself with support is so important, because iron does sharpen iron, period. Iron sharpens iron. And because life happens to all of us, see, things are cyclical. Business is cyclical sometimes. There's ups and downs in life, just like there's ups and downs in business, right? Type of me too in the chat if you can relate. There's ups and downs in life. There's ups and downs in business. There's ups and downs in careers. There's ups and downs in so many different things. And when you ask yourself, well, what does that look like? For me, if I would just stay there, it's because of the community. It's because of the people that are surrounding you. It's because of, see, the people that are surrounding you. I remember my mom used to always tell me in Spanish, I'll translate it in English because I got to say it in Spanish first, y'all. Don't mind me, I'm Dominican. Don't blame me, okay? But it's like, dime con quién anda y te diré quién eres. And whether you have kids or not, or you have anybody you care about, I'm sure you told your family or your children or as somebody you care about, it's like, tell me who your friends are and I will tell you where you're going. Tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. Our bank accounts are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. When I heard that, I was like, ain't gonna chill with you no more. Ain't gonna chill with you no more. Ain't gonna chill with you no more. I love you, but we ain't gonna be like that. Right? Because I was like, oh Lord, that makes a lot of sense. I'm making 6 figures, but I'm in 6 figures worth of debt. Why is that? Because of your surroundings. So it's so important for you to realize that it's like, okay, well, how can I go ahead and surround myself with the right people? Surround yourself with support. Surround yourself around the thinking that outthinks you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you got to get in a different room. See, it is so important that you are registered for our Viago training, the event that is taking place September 7th in a city near you. And if you're near Tampa, oh, you in luck because your girl about to tear it up, right? We got the one and only Muzaffar Nashvi flying in all the way from Arizona. And taking time away from his beautiful wife and his beautiful daughters and his beautiful family. And guys, I cannot express enough how important it is for you to continuously surround yourself with greatness. See, I want to learn from 8-figure earners. I want to learn from people that are stretching my thinking, that are stretching my belief. I want to know what they're doing. I want to know what's working, what's not working. Personal development is crucial. You making sure your training is crucial. It's like, just like a Bentley needs gas, so do we. See, I'm gonna tell you, whether it's a Bentley or it's a Toyota, they still need gas. It's probably need different types of gas, right? Like I need that 93. If you know, you know. See, you making sure you're at training is like that premium fuel. You making sure you're refilling your cup and surrounding yourself around the thinking that outthinks you is premium fuel. I have people that because they went to training, they were suffering from depression and it's gone. And I'm not saying that this is a treatment, right? Nobody try to sue me. I'm not saying that, but I do know that our events meet all of the 6 basic human needs that people have. It meets the need for certainty and security. It meets the need for variety. It meets the need for love, for growth, for contribution, for significance. It meets each and every single one of our needs. And I know that. And if you are the person that's like, man, I know that I'm already registered and I also need something else because I do know that you have something else going on. Well, our creators conference is September 14th. If you're near Tampa or you can fly in, that's definitely a spot that you want to be in. It's not just for influencers. It's not just for creators. It's for business people. It's for people that have a dream, people that have a goal, people that want to be around great people, people that want to be in a great environment, right? Make sure you're registered. If you are part of our community, DM me because there is a special discounted code for you, but make sure you're putting that premium fuel in your gas tank at all times. And putting that premium fuel in your gas tank means that you surround yourself around the thinking that outthinks you. And I see a lot of you guys already registered for our next Viago regional training event taking place in a city near you. And if you're registered, bring somebody else with you. It's time to get somebody else in the door with you. Oh, people canceled it. Get more people. There's never a deficit of people. It's just a deficit of our mindset. It's a deficit in our attitude. It's our deficit in our intention. It's a deficit in our commitment. It's a deficit. It's never a deficit of people. There's never a deficit of opportunity. There's never a deficit of income. There's never a deficit of money. It's the deficit of our thinking that keeps us stagnant. It's the deficit of our emotions that keeps us stagnant. So set clear goals, creating a growth mindset, surround yourself around the people that outthink you. Surround yourself with support. And here is, and I'm going to back up to give you another one, right? Creating a growth mindset is one of the most best ways to get on the other side of this. Because how many people have ever been through some challenges? Type a C in the chat. Yes, you've been through some challenges. You've been through some stuff. Yes, yes. Okay, I see y'all. I see it. And how many people can say they were better because they had that challenge? Type a B in the chat. And if you realize a lot of the people that were courageous enough to write the C wrote the B too. Why? Because what's on the other side, Lisa said it earlier, the perseverance. See, when you create a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, life happens for you, not to you. When you create a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, you focus on the abundance, not the scarcity. When you create a growth mindset, you embrace the challenges as opportunities to grow. See, when you have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, failures are not viewed as setbacks, but as lessons to the path to fulfill our potential. And also, the setback is nothing more than a setup for the comeback. You realize that when you are creating and cultivating a growth mindset, embracing the challenges, the obstacles as opportunities to grow, as opportunities to be the best version of you, Because think about it. If you're the person, a lot of people were like, I want to help people, right? I want to inspire people. I want to help people. My potential is to serve. My potential is to help people grow. Well, how can you help people grow if you haven't been through some stuff? How can you help people get to the other side if you've never navigated through it yourself? So you want to serve more people, you got to go through some things. See, I believe that God has to have a filtration process, a filtration system and process, right? And the reality is that if I asked now all 37 of you, do you want to be successful? Guess what everybody's gonna say? Yes, 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 yes. Of course I want to be successful. What you mean? But how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to commit to until? I don't know what that until looks like. Might look like very different for everybody. But what does that look like for you? Again, surrounding yourself with the thinking that outthinks you, creating that growth mindset, having that vision for your life, having that vision for your future. What is that going to look like for you? Why are you deserving of those things? See, God's filtration process happens because everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to stream life, but not so many people are willing to work for it. The harvest is always plenty. The laborers are few. Last, but certainly not least, how do you get to the other side of not expressing your potential? Is celebrating progress. As you're reflecting and writing your goals for fourth quarter and taking the actionable steps and realigning yourself and doing self-reflection, celebrate your progress. Acknowledge and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. This reinforces positive behavior and it motivates you to keep moving forward. I started the call this morning by telling you guys how in awe and what prompted this conversation was a conversation with my goddaughter, and also being in Aruba celebrating my sister's birthday, and just being in awe of all that God has done and is doing. But more so is just celebrating the progress. See, acknowledging and celebrating progress, no matter how small. Yeah, I'm not exactly where I want to be at. I'm not living, oh my goodness, to somebody else's maybe extent of what success looks like for them. But for me, from where I come from, I'm living the good life, baby. I'm living life amplified. It's real different on this side right now. To God be the glory. But it's because I decided to take action, even when I didn't feel like it, even when it was hard, even when I was in pain, even when I was tired. Just kept going. You always got to keep going. And this trip reminded me that we got so much work left to do, because it's cute and it's cool when one person is living life, but how many more people can we help? And that's really and truly what it's about. So breakfast has been served. I hope that you guys got value from this. I am so excited. Was able to join you guys this morning. Make sure you tune in to our Breakfast Club call each and every single Thursday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what part of the world I'll be at next week, but I'll definitely be in Tampa. But yes, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate you. The recording to this will be up on our Facebook group page and our YouTube page in the next 24 to 48 hours. Blessings on blessings to you guys. And if you guys got value, please share this with your friends. Share this with everybody. And it's so great to see a lot of you guys on here. As always, it is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to serve you. Blessings on blessings. Much love, guys. And if you're not registered for RTE, make sure you are registered. And if you are not registered for our Creators Conference, make sure you're registered. DM me for your discount code. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, guys.